So, everyone, welcome to this amazing interview. We're going to have Moving Forward Adventures here with us. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Kenny.
Sabrina.
And together we're moving forward.
Oh, was I supposed to say that at the same time?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Has to be in sync, guys.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, we really don't have these things planned out all too well. And we live in a 28-foot Class A motorhome. We travel full-time in it. We live full-time in it. And we do this for Sabrina's work. And I think that's one of Danny's questions further along, so we'll get into that a little bit later, I guess.
I thought we did this to spend time together, you said.
What did I say?
Again?
We got some problems.
We did this
here.
for work.
Oh, yeah. We did do this to spend time together, didn't we?
That's perfect. That's great.
That is the correct answer. We did move into the motorhome to travel for your work to spend more time together, because before...
Trying real hard to backtrack now.
Because, well, before you were working a lot of hours and we really weren't seeing each other all that much. Even when you did get home from work, you would be on call, you would have notes to write, and we were barely seeing each other. That's the correct answer.
That's a good answer. You saved yourself there. Okay, so RVing, really big step to take, I'm sure. What would you say to people who are interested in trying out RVing for the first time?
You want to take it?
Sure. So I would say do not be intimidated by the RV and camping experience. I had never been camping before. I hate bugs, I hate heat, I hate a lot of things. So I was a little worried that I wouldn't enjoy this. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and even though things go wrong, they usually work out in the end anyway. So don't be intimidated and just get out there and try it. You have to try it. We were saying, why not? So if things didn't work out, we could always go back to living the way we were living before. So why not give things a try? Better to have tried and failed than not tried at all. But I don't like failing. So, okay.
If you have friends that have RVs, that's a great way. Ask if you can go on a trip with them. If you have a company nearby that does RV rentals, that's how we actually started. We didn't have any friends with RVs, so we went and rented an RV for a weekend and took it out, and the RV was horrible. It was gross. It had a lot of issues, but the experience itself was a lot of fun and enough for us to be like, yeah, this is what we want to do.
Oh, nice. So yeah, definitely sounds like an experience. Really some interesting things I'm sure you guys can tell us about. Let's actually talk about that. What's one of the craziest things you guys have ever experienced in RVing?
I would say it's definitely the Poocano. And
that sounds scary.
So yeah, it's a little scary. So when you're RVing, the unit itself is all self-contained, meaning all your water connections, power, everything is on board. But eventually your tanks will fill up and you have to empty those tanks. So you go to like a sewer connection to empty your tank, and you're supposed to be sure that your sewer connection is secure. This was during our rental, and apparently I thought the connection was on there really well, but apparently it wasn't at all. And when I pulled the lever to release the valve, the connection fell off, and our sewer and everything that was in it shot straight up into the air. Luckily, it went up in the air and away from me, but the odor was, it was the worst thing ever.
Let's just start with, it wasn't our sewer. So we had just picked up the rental. We didn't even use the toilet yet. And we got there and went to empty it and hook up. And I was on the other side of the RV with our friend. And we were like, oh my, what is that smell? And we came around and we're like, whoa.
I really wasn't expecting anything to come out of it. I just opened it, I guess just to see how to work the valves. I really wasn't expecting anything to come out, because literally we haven't used it yet. We didn't use the bathroom yet, but
it was special.
Oh yeah, it came out.
Oh wow! I don't. That's just a horrible picture in my mind.
Yeah,
It's kind of like the movie.
Oh wow!
it's very similar to the RV movie. Yeah.
Oh, now I can,
But
I
that
can
being the
picture it
case-
now.
It looks very similar to that. Unfortunately, it looked very similar to that. But even with that happening, though, I mean, the other part of the experience of it, though, was a lot of fun. The fact that everything is kind of self-contained. We had our own stuff with us. It wasn't like sleeping in a hotel. And every little challenge that we were able to figure out on our own, felt like a huge victory for us. Like, oh, we figured out how to get... I mean, at first we didn't even know... we would plug something into an outlet, and we didn't have power, and we didn't know why we didn't have power. So I mean, just little bit. Every time we figured something out, it was like a small victory, and we were like, "Yeah, we did it."
That's good. That's good. I'm sure it was a big experience. Just the difference in living, doing those things like that. That sounds pretty tough sometimes. I'm sure. But
Oh, definitely. It makes everything a little bit more difficult. So maybe I shouldn't say difficult, but everything takes a few extra steps.
Yeah.
So everything from getting your mail to even just showering, you have to make sure your water heater's on. You have to make sure your tank is empty enough to hold the water you're going to shower. You have to make sure you have enough water to shower. So there's always a couple extra steps that you need to do things. But when we've looked at it, in our heads, the trade-off has been worth it. So.
Oh wow! Wow, that's nice though. It's good, and I'm sure, like we said before, there's some big changes. Obviously, a lot of moving around, different things like that. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how you're able to support this kind of change financially.
So this goes back to, I originally said that we did this for Sabrina's work, which isn't true. We did this to spend more time together. Sabrina is a pulmonary critical care doctor. And she was working crazy hours at the hospital, probably 60 to 80 hours a week. Then she was coming home writing notes. She would be on call a lot of times at night. And we were barely seeing each other. And when we did, it wasn't really like quality time because she was still
Busy.
kind of catching up with work even when she was home. I owned a small vending machine business. I owned like a little over 40 locations. And we just weren't connecting. We weren't really seeing each other. And she was stressed out at work all the time. And she found out about a position where she could travel to different hospitals, do her work, and when she was done work for the day,
She was done.
Yeah, no
Done.
notes, no call, no follow up with patients or anything. When it was over, it was over. And she started doing that. She cut down to part time for her job at the hospital, and she started doing the locums part time, which she loved. But it created a new problem that the hours were better, but now she was going away all the time for these different hospitals because there were, they could be anywhere in the country pretty much. And so now she was traveling for work, and now we weren't seeing each other because of the traveling. So what I decided to do was I sold my business, my small business, and we decided to buy an RV and travel together. And originally my idea was that I would pick up what's called work camping in different areas and do work at the campgrounds. But we moved so often and so erratically that it was hard to schedule work for when we were at someplace because we didn't really know how long we'd be there, and then we'd move on again. And luckily I met up with people at Winnebago. We own a Winnebago, and we met up with people from Winnebago, and now I write articles for Winnebago Life, and I make videos for Winnebago Life. So I'm what do we call it? Content creator. So now I'm a content creator for Winnebago, and that between the two of us, we were able to travel and see things, and now we're doing everything together. Now when Sabrina's done work, she works half the hours that she used to work at the full time.
Well, so let's
You don't
just clear
think it's
that.
half?
No. So I work full-time hours, but I'm not working every week.
Right, but you're not working the hours that you used to work when you worked steadily at the hospital.
No, this is a discussion for the camera, right?
Because otherwise, how would we be spending more time together?
So okay, so here's how.
Awkward pause there.
I'm trying math. Math is not my forte. So I'm thinking about it, and I think it was because I was working over full time there. So I'm not working. You're right. I'm not working as okay.
You're
so I'll
working,
let you get back to. Let you. Okay, so we'll just cut.
You're not working
there.
half. You're not working part time now. You're just working half of what you used to.
Let's clear that up because I think the people will think I'm not working. Because it's funny because I meet a lot of people. Like even in maybe it's not even meeting people, but even when I go visit my family, and sometimes they'll say things, oh, so you barely work now. And I'm like, no, I actually do work full time. They're like, but then how are you here? Oh no, I work full-time hours. There's some weeks where I'm working 6 days, 14-hour shifts, or 7 days, 12-hour shifts. So I work full-time hours. I just don't work.
Sometimes people don't like,
as much as
they don't view jobs where you do different kinds of things as like steady jobs, but they are. So.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true.
I understand
if you're not 8 to 5,
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So they think I'm on vacation all the time.
Like all the time.
Okay, so yeah, really interesting to see how RVing works. A lot of factors, I'm sure, that are included.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
It's a learning curve for
Yeah.
sure. It's a learning curve.
I'm sure. So if anyone is interested in that, it's you got your channel right here. So I know you guys wanted to ask me a question, so just hit me with your best shot.
So I was curious from watching your channel, where do you get your inspiration from to come up with the different video ideas that you put together? I mean, I know that you do like skits. Sometimes you're singing. Sometimes sometimes it's just you and the camera and you're talking to the audience and you're doing your sometimes you're just crying. So I'm wondering.
I sound pathetic when you put it that way. So you just start crying in front of the camera.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, where does your inspiration? Where are you pulling these ideas from? Is it just are you just walking around during the day and be like, you know what I need to do? I need to draw pictures of a person with curly hair, or
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I've always been someone who likes to write stories. I've been writing stories since I was like in 5th grade. I really liked it, like to the point where like some of my classmates would like to hear my stories, and it kind of just got me thinking like, oh wow, people actually like what I'm writing, what I'm doing. And then I learned about YouTube. I learned about all the different kinds of videos, like especially like 2008, 2009. It was a lot more sketch kind of videos, a lot more those focused on that kind of thing. So I was like, this seems like something fun. So I got my first camera like 2009-ish. So I started recording dumb little videos with my sister, and it kind of just went from there. And then a few years later, when music was starting to become more popular on YouTube too, I watched some people like just some different singing videos, different musicians. So it kind of like inspired me to do more of that too, and just kind of went from there. Yeah.
Nice.
I would like to see more of the singing videos. That's
You're really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys don't want to see the comedy ones. They're a little disturbing sometimes. Okay, I get it. That kind of ends the interview for today. If you guys want to actually learn more about Moving Forward Adventures, I'm going to link their channel at the end of the video and also in the description. If you guys are really interested in RVing and learning more about those kinds of things, and you can go to their channel. We're actually going to do an interview on their channel too, a little bit more intense kind of RVing questions. But yeah, if you guys are interested to go there, do you guys have anything else to say before we finish?
Just thanks for having us on your channel. We appreciate you.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a good time. We always have fun talking to you. I mean, People probably don't know that we Skype every once in a while, but it's always interesting.
Nice use of words.
It's always a good time. It's always a good time.
Nice. So yeah. So if you guys are interested, we'll see you over on their channel. So yeah, take care. See y'all later.
My name is Maggie.
And my name is Daniel. We're happy that you stumbled upon our channel.